You are listening to the B.I.G Show with your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
Yeah.
The B.I.G Show is a weekly breakdown of the sports world from a fan's perspective.
It is.
Here are your hosts, Calvin and Garland.
It is the big show.
Big up.
We are back. We used to be a weekend show, but now we're a weekday show.
We're weekday.
Listen, Garland I don't know what Garland
The landlord, yo. It's the landlord. It's the landlord that took our Saturdays, y'all. Calvin used to hit me like 7 o'clock, 7:30. I'm like, come on, bro. No more Saturdays. Saturdays don't exist no more. Landlord that took Saturday. Our weekends is gone. I gotta try to catch Calvin in the middle of the week. I'll be like, Tuesday, Wednesday, something? Yeah. Because that's when the landlord ain't there. I gotta hit him when the landlord ain't around. Because he get there, it's all Paw Patrol and Pop time.
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
What do you want to watch? What do you want to watch? Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol. He just go grab the tablet and be like, Paw Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
So I got kind of know.
Yeah, I was at the store today in Walmart and looking for some stuff for the house and saw some Paw Patrol sheets. I thought about the landlord. I was like, yeah, there go the landlord right there.
Well, he gonna get some rubber sheets because he's still peeing in our bed. He ain't peeing his own bed.
That's wrong.
But he pee in our bed.
No, you can't sleep in here.
And then he be like, oh. As soon as you say that, I'll be like,
right. Oh.
But it's our fault because it's the pamper that get too full. But shit, it be the middle of the night. So anyway,
hey, whatever. Well, guess what? One day you gonna be in the pamper too. No. I know that's totally
so anyway, we are live on YouTube right now. We're on all the podcast platforms, and if you do have Spotify, you will get to see our mugs. I would ask Garland how he doing, but clearly he's preparing to be in the pamper because he's trying to put it on somebody else.
Brody.
Stop reflecting.
I told my daughter, I said I'm gonna eat all fiber. Now that's how I say you ain't got nothing but a messy type to deal with.
Fun fact. I read that for people our age, 50 and over, that you may want to, on long flights, you may want to consider wearing an adult diaper. That way you don't have to get up multiple times to use the bathroom, especially because there's always a wait for the bathroom on airplanes. And if you wear one, even if you have to wait and you got to do a little tinkle,
little tank,
you ain't got to worry about it getting on your pants. So
wow.
I haven't tried it yet, but
not going to be no time soon. But hey, the more you know. Yeah, my friend, we're all heading that way.
We're all there one day. Hey, man, what we got going on today?
My grandfather, I used to be like, nah, I ain't heading that way, pop. But anyway, hey, man, we're going to talk a little football, man. You know, you only as good as your last win. And so Ravens lost last week. And so we're going to spend some time on that because, you know, it's the end of the world. And so they went from going to the Super Bowl to missing the playoffs. And so we're going to dive deep into that. Going to talk a little NFL news. Some stuff happened. The ghost of Mercury Morris, he's popping some champagne right now. And so, he's probably, having a glass of Cristal with the Lord. And but we're going to start off talking about the biggest sports thing that happened last week. And that was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Mike Tyson's highly anticipated return to the boxing ring after nearly 2 decades saw the baddest man on the planet fall short to YouTuber turned prize fighter Jake Paul. The main event was the biggest gate for any boxing or MMA event outside of Las Vegas in U.S. history, according to a statement from Paul's most valuable promotions. Man, just a lot of people's different opinions. It was fixed. in the contract, somebody sent out a contract on the text talking about, yeah, Mike couldn't hit him in the face and had to end as a no knockouts, all this. I think we got hoodwinked by the internet because everybody started pulling out all these old clips of Mike Tyson when he was in his prime. I saw Mike Tyson in his prime. I'm sure you did too. I saw Mike Tyson in his time. I mean, I saw him beat the snot out of Larry Holmes. I was in college when I saw that fight. I was in graduate school. I saw the night he lost to Buster Douglas over in Japan. The last time we saw Mike Tyson in the ring, he got beat. Not this last time, but the time before that. And so I don't know what we were expecting. People were like, what do you think? I was like, I know we saw the clips, and one thing in practice, you can look great in practice, and then Mike, he had his ass all out. He 85. Although Mike, he's only 58, he's probably got the body of at least a 70-year-old. All that boxing he's done. I mean, he's not a spring chicken. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't necessarily upset about the thing. I did not think. I don't know what to think. What did you think, Calvin? Going into this, what was your thought about this?
So many different thoughts, but there's a reason, and those of you all that play softball, you'll understand this. Garland, you'll definitely understand. There's a reason they have 40 and over, 50 and over, 60 and over leagues. Because you can't keep up with these youngins. Like it's the cycle of life. You can't keep up with them. They run faster, they hit harder. Your reflexes aren't the same as theirs are. Like there's a reason that
you got designated runners.
The plate is on the other side, so there's no collisions. Now, reason they do that kind of stuff is because when it's over, you just want to be like, yeah, I survived. I can go home. Mm-hmm. When I watched that fight, the biggest flex was Mike Tyson went 8 2-minute rounds with this young boy and did not fall down one time. Right. And got a check for $20 million. Listen, you can't get more Mike Tyson than that. Yeah. He stayed on his foot. He got his money. He's still the GOAT in our mind, because win or lose, we wouldn't have thought any differently of him, because you give him the pass because he's 58 years old. Like it's entertainment. We're living in a society now where reality TV, social media influencers, social media is starting to bleed into the rest of society. Now it's been bleeding in, but now it's starting to bleed into things like sports. You can even watch a lot of these influencers now. They're getting courtside seats at Laker games. Like that used to be for big time movie stars, not even television stars. That was all for movie stars. Now you see celebrity influencers sitting there. Like, I'm a social media influencer sitting there. Like Mike got his payday. He didn't die. What did they say? But did you die? He didn't die. The only thing I hated about it was, now I will, and I hate to say this because I don't like him, but I will give Jake Paul some credit. I think there were a few times where he could have literally embarrassed Mike in the ring. And you could kind of see that in the later rounds, he was kind of holding back. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't throwing as many punches, and he was just kind of holding back. But I hated that Mike said he wanted to fight his brother after that. And he was like, what, motherfucker, I'll kill you. Shut the fuck up. Mike Tyson is a legend, bro. You don't say that to him. You just say, we'll see, Mike. We'll see. Like, shut the fuck up.
And what was that thing they were spraying on? Was that a new body spray or something? What was that all about? Did you see that?
I don't know.
I'm like, why are they spraying? What is that?
Maybe it's to keep the haters off, because they do a lot of different shit like that. If you notice, he came into Air of the Night, Phil Collins, and I didn't get it until somebody said it. That's the song that Mike was
Used
playing
to come in.
in
Okay.
no, not when he came in the ring in the movie, The Hangover. In The Hangover.
Oh,
Remember he was in The
yeah.
Hangover? That was the song he was playing when he was in The
Yeah, I can
Hangover.
feel it coming in there tonight.
Yeah, so maybe that was, a troll for Mike Tyson. So, these boys know how to make money. I mean, listen, you want, if you're an influencer or you're an athlete, whatever, you want to get a payday, you can get with them, get your payday, man.
Right.
I don't like him, but get your payday. Mike got paid and he survived. So good for Mike. Good for Mike.
Yeah, good for Mike. Bad for the sport. I mean, boxing's dead. Boxing's dead. I mean, anytime this type of fight garners that type of interest, I mean, you're setting records then, like legitimate fights. Man, fighting's dead as a sport. I mean, it's not on HBO anymore. It's not on Showtime anymore. It's
You don't have the big names. You don't have the big
you don't
names
really. The big
like
names are the females now.
The females, yeah.
Clarissa Shields. Those are the big names. As a matter of fact, she said she wants to fight Jake Paul. She was on Liu Young show, and she told Liu Young she wants to fight Jake Paul.
Don't do that. Don't do that, Clarissa.
I know. As thick as she is, don't do that.
We can't have. That's not why I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I thought that was why you were saying.
We can't have no white boy. You can't have no white boy punching on no black woman. No, for sport. We can't have that.
I thought you were saying because she's thick.
Else,
she is thick though.
He's something else.
You know she's thick. But anyway, don't say it. Katina must be behind that partition. She about to do a Beyonce partition, please. What you say? Paula upstairs. She can't come downstairs. Her back hurting, so I ain't got to worry about her.
Look at you. You kicking the woman when she down. I'm going to call her and be like, like Chris Shields, right?
Yeah. What did you think about Netflix? Now, a lot of people saying I did watch the fight. I think maybe once we had some buffering issues, not a lot of buffering issues, but that wasn't the same for everybody across the country. A lot of buffering issues. People saying if this Christmas game, because the Ravens are playing on Netflix versus the Texans, and Beyonce is the halftime show. They're saying that if this Christmas game buffered like this fight buffered, people going to lose their minds. People going to go crazy on Netflix.
It's true, but let me you're right about that. It can buff, and there's 2 games I think on Netflix. Or is it just the Ravens game? I know there's
just the Ravens on Christmas. Yeah, okay. Just the Ravens game is going to be on Netflix.
But let me say this. I don't know if y'all noticed the flex that Garland be trying to Garland talk about me, but Garland be trying to throw the flex in there. So if y'all don't know, you know how Baltimore ain't part of the DMV. Well, Garland don't even live in Baltimore. Garland is in Harford County out there with the Ripkins and all that. And he just going to come
where I
on
live is part of Baltimore.
Everybody that was watching the fight got buffered. Like, it was terrible. What Garland say? I mean, we only got buffered maybe once or twice for about 30 seconds or so, but we didn't have any issues. And I bet you didn't.
When you have that T1 hills, connection.
Hartford Hills. What's your cable? What you got? Verizon Fios? You got Fios?
I have Xfinity. Thank you.
Oh, you do?
Xfinity. Yes, I do.
You must have.
And I have DirecTV as my TV provider.
So you got 2 different services. So you brought the Bloods and the Crips together to get your shit all right. Okay, I see.
Purple and blue makes green and red and blue makes purple. So what?
You got them out there singing "We All in the Same Gang" when it comes to the Thomas residents.
We're all in the same gang.
You something else, yo.
We're all in the same gang.
Always talk about me because I like to drink a little wine here and there, but this dude, we have no.
I ain't got no PSL.
We have no buffering
All right, y'all.
issues out here.
All right, here he go. Let me read the text. He's sending out the little thing about the PSL today to the crew group, talking about hey, just in case, I already got my PSL, but just in case, you guys don't want to keep on watching the games at home.
That is not what I said.
That's what the text said. That's what I read.
Not what I said.
If you read into it, the meaning behind it.
Yo, it be your own niggas, yo. You can't even send.
He gonna send that. I mean, I'm a PSL owner, but if you guys want to be like me,
I did not.
This is the time to get in. Like, oh, excuse me, Mr. Aristocrat, PSL owner. Yeah,
I mean, you might as well. I know they got a coach bus to go straight out to Harford Hills. You can just jump on it and get door-to-door service out in the Harford Hills area. Always trying to claim Baltimore, but living all the way out in the Harford Hills.
I'm Baltimore, all Baltimore anyway.
And he worked down in the city, y'all. But when it's time to go, he out of that motherfucker. The sun going down will not catch Garland inside the city.
Unless it's a baseball game or Stevie Wonder concert or something.
And even with the baseball game, the rest of the crew, we all park in the little mud area, the rest of us. Garland, where you park? Oh, well, I park down there by the arena. It's so much safer down there. We'd be like, what that?
I did not say that.
We got the parking up here. I paid, a couple dollars for it. How much you pay for your parking? Well, the valet was like $100. I didn't want to do the valet. I didn't want to do the valet, so I just went ahead and paid the $40 and park. I paid the $40 and park. $40. Yeah, come on.
It was $30 one time, but early in the season, it's cheaper. But I ain't got to worry about that no more because I work downtown now. We have a parking garage where we park, and so I'll park there and walk
right next to the Orioles. He ain't say that to y'all though. Right next to the Orioles,
about 3-4 blocks from the stadium.
See, and he get a shuttle.
Anyway,
and he get a shuttle with food and drink.
Anyway, that's how. We're gonna talk about tailgates now. Let's talk about Mr. Tailgate over there with his burrito bowls at the tailgate. His steak bowls. Did you have red with that steak bowl? I didn't know what you paired with it in terms of your wine. Anyway, y'all.
We're gonna drink something else. Anyway,
see, there you go. So, hey man, NFL news. The ghost of Mercury Morris is still alive. He's popping champagne right now. Mercury Morris was a running back for the Miami Dolphins in the 70s. Up to the early 80s before the cocaine 80s took over his life and he wound up doing a little prison time. But he, became an ambassador for the team and he was part of the, I believe it was 73. They went undefeated. He was part of the 1973 Dolphin team.
Was it 72? Was it 72? It was one of them.
Yeah, it was one of them. I think it was, Google Wild talking. So I think it was 73. And so, he was part of that team. And they went undefeated, won the Super Bowl. And so every year when there is a team that gets close to being undefeated, all of a sudden Mercury Morris just appears out the ether. And he starts talking mess. And eventually that team loses. And he has a bottle of champagne that he pops every time that it happens. And so, hey, guess what? Going into Sunday's game, the KC Chiefs were undefeated. They faced the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills came out winning in that game. The Bills are now 9-2, and KC has his first loss at 9-1. And so, did you get to watch any of that game?
Yeah, I watched.
The Ravens were out of town, so I know you didn't have to go down to the suite. So, did you watch any of that game?
Yo, you something else. Yeah, I watched some of that game. By the way, Larry Zonka, they showed Larry Zonka.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, he did the celebration. Him and one of his
Mm-hmm.
homeboys, they did the
Yeah,
celebration.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. The Dolphins, they pop out of nowhere. When you get close to being undefeated, all of a sudden they find these old guys somewhere. They might have CTE or something, and it don't make a difference. They pull them out there. They got some champagne and they popping. And so Mercury Morris, the tradition stays alive with your running back mate Sanka. And so yeah. So down goes the Chiefs. The New York Jets, they fired general manager Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas, he came out of the Ravens organization. Under Douglas, the Jets have a 30-64 record, no winning seasons and no playoff appearances. Phil Savage, a senior advisor, football advisor for the Jets, was named the team's interim general manager. Savage, you may know of him if you're from Baltimore, is a former GM for the Cleveland Browns from 05 through 08, and he also served as director of player personnel for the Ravens under general manager Ozzie Newsome. And so the Jets, man, this Aaron Rodgers thing just, I think we can go ahead and say it's a failure.
absolutely, it's a full shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's awful. Wasted talent too. Wasted talent. And I'm not talking
Yeah,
about Aaron Rodgers' talent. I'm talking about the offense and the defense outside of Aaron Rodgers. Just wasted talent. Like it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
They got some good players. I mean, outside of the Zach Wilson draft, taking Zach Wilson so high, um, he's done well with the other drafts. Sauce Gardner, Brees Hall. He did some good signings, some good free agents. But yeah, they just with this whole thing, he sold out. He sold out with Rodgers. They went all in, and they came up craps on this. And so we'll see what happens next year. Do you think Rodgers comes back next season?
No, Roger. I mean, if they shouldn't want him back. Let's say, Rogers is one of them
Mm-hmm.
characters that he'll try to come back because he's going to try to prove something like he's a Tom Brady or something. Rogers should retire. Like just sit back, go in your little caves, and get on your conservative talk shows, whatever lies you want to talk about in the off season. You might as well just make it all year long. Your boy Trump will be president. He probably can make him like Secretary of, I don't know, Foreign Affairs or something. Because
Yeah,
he
give
say
him a
he
serious
say
job.
ayahuasca, so he say
Yeah,
ayahuasca.
ayahuasca.
Trump might think he know a lot about foreign relations.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to have a high pick. I mean, I don't know if they traded that pick to get Rodgers or what that all was. But yeah, I don't know if you take one more bite at the apple.
No,
Depending on,
absolutely
I
not.
think it all depends on who they hire as coach. If they bring in a young coach, that means they're going to go ahead and just start over from scratch. Now, if they bring in somebody like a Belichick, someone who's older, has got a history, some resume, that means they got to win now. They don't have 4, 5, 6, 7 years to go ahead and pull it out. And so I think it's really going to be dependent on who they bring in as coach. As a matter of fact, talking about coaches and all, with the Cowboys steadily heading down to the bottom, there's been speculation that your boy, Coach Prime, could be a candidate for the Dallas Cowboys job, with the thought that Shador would go number one if the Cowboys keep on losing to Dallas. Maybe they would hire Dion as well. I know last year when we were talking about coaching openings, I had floated the idea of Dion going to Dallas. I said that, I thought publicity wise, it would be a great fit. He played for Jerry. They got the money. He doesn't have to come in and try to be a GM. I thought it would have been a perfect fit. And Dion said he got his kickstand out. I guess it's on his missing toe. I don't know. But on one, because he cut off two of them. So I think he just got three on one foot. And so what you think about the possibility of Dion going to the pros? Now, they just landed the number two high school recruit. He flipped from USC. He decommitted. He's going to go to Colorado. You know, I don't know if that means that Dion is staying, but what if Jerry comes with a boatload of money? What do you think Dion does?
I mean, if he comes with a boatload of money, he's gonna take the money. Like he ain't prime
Mm-hmm.
time for nothing. You know,
Right.
he made a song called "Must Be the Money." Like,
Must
you
be the
know,
money.
we already know he gonna go after the money. I don't. So it would just be for publicity and to sell tickets because I don't think he would be a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys. Eh, they actually have the bones still of a good defense. They have the
Mm-hmm.
bones of a good offensive line. They have receivers. They don't have a run game, but they have a quarterback. Like you would think they'd want to get somebody there that understands how to actually run an NFL team on the field, like a Belichick, like a Mike Vrabel. You know, even if you want to get the coordinator from the Detroit Lions, that's probably going to be available. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I would think. But it's Jerry Jones's world. You never know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? If Trump wanted to be coach, Jerry Jones would let him be coach because it would bring so much publicity to the team.
Sure, sure. Yeah, they're paying Dak a whole bunch of money too. I don't think they let go Dak like that. That's a lot of money on the books to hand it all over to a rookie quarterback. Like you said, they do have pieces there that this is not like a total strip down and rebuild for this team. They just had a lot of injuries.
Exactly.
And they just haven't been able to make it through those injuries. They didn't really prioritize signing a running back. Thank goodness, because Derrick Henry came to Baltimore, and so they really just they thought that they could probably throw the ball all day, and it just has not worked out for them that way. And then Micah Parsons was out for a good part of the first part of the season. Dexter Lawrence has been out for quite some time, and so yeah, just a lot of injuries and all. So we'll see. But I always, if Dion, I know I give Dion a lot of grief, Coach Prime, a lot of grief. Um, but I always said that I would have won when he was going to the Power Five schools. I said I wanted to see him in the SEC or in the South because I thought that was a better mix for him instead of being in Boulder. Um, I think if he does go to the NFL, I want to see him go to a team where he doesn't have to also play GM. He could just focus on the coaching aspect, and they kind of already have a solid foundation. And we'll see what happens. And so, his
Well,
name is
he
just going to be there all year. And the worse that Dallas does, and the better that Colorado does, his name is going to be in the mix all the way up to the end of the season.
well, he definitely won't be GM in Dallas. You know that.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know that.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, but I agree with you. Dallas has the pieces. They have a foundation.
Yeah.
They have a good solid foundation that someone could come in there and turn it around like that. I mean, they can be bad this year and come back next year, and they could be a playoff team. All right. Man, let's go ahead and talk about our Ravens. They blew an opportunity to take the lead in the AFC North with a devastating loss to division rivals, the Steelers, losing 18-16. They held the Steelers with no touchdowns. Justin Tucker, he missed 2 field goals that factored into the loss, but there's enough blame to spread around about this game. In particular, 12 penalties. The Ravens are the most penalized team in the NFL. No fourth quarter
By
touches
far.
by far. No fourth quarter touches for Derrick Henry. And the play call on the 2-point conversion, as well as 2 fumbles. And so the first thing, let's talk about this. Is there a kicking competition next season?
There needs to be I sent a message to the crew because they got on me pretty bad when I talked about we might need to have a conversation about Justin Tucker. And that's all I said was we need to have a conversation. They was like, oh, you want to get rid of him? It's not that I wanted to get rid of him, but maybe he needs a challenge. Maybe he needs a competition. Maybe he needs another competitor in there to get him up. And I also said that we don't really notice it because they're like beginning of the game kicks, or which seemed like, we didn't need the 3 points. We're losing by touchdowns and stuff. But when he actually loses us games, that's when we're going to start talking about. He missed 2 kicks in a row. They lost by 2 points. Now the crew is like, oh, we need to get his stuff. Oh, do we now? Do we, crew? Do we, Jason? Do we, Jay? So now we need to bring somebody else in, but no, it's it's disheartening that he's having his struggles. And I don't want to say I feel bad for him, I feel sorry for him, because at the end of the day, we're trying to win football games. And if he's not doing his job, then he needs to be held accountable for that. The one thing that we all like to do, I do it myself, especially when it comes to your team, is you put so much emotion behind it. I even conceded to when I was talking about him, saying, yeah, but he does deserve the opportunity to, go to the end of the year. And that opportunity actually lost us the Pittsburgh game. Again,
Right.
It's not solely on him, but he didn't help.
Right.
So
I mean, he's here for the rest of the year. There's nothing you're not letting him go.
Yeah, you're not.
It's a lot of costs on your
down.
cap, all that stuff. No, he's not going anywhere. So he's going to be here for the rest of the season. But they better figure it out quick, fast, and a hurry. They don't have any time. If it's the holding, maybe they need to bring Sam Cook out of retirement. I know he's a coach on the team with the special teams. Maybe cut somebody and he just hold on extra points and kicks. I don't know what you need to do, but you better fix it quick, fast, and a hurry, because you're not going to win every game 30 plus points. There are going to be games now that we're getting in the later in the season that is going to come down to a kick. This game came down to kicks. This was a game that they could have. You're going to have games where your quarterback doesn't play well. Goofy stuff happens, like the interception with Justice Hill. I don't think Henry has fumbled in over 500 carries. You're going to have games where you have crazy, goofy stuff that hasn't happened in years happen, and you're going to need someone to pull you out of that. And normally Tuck has been there to do that. They've had games like that game a couple years ago when he kicked the 66-yarder against Detroit. How many touchdowns did Hollywood Brown drop in that game? And so that's really a game that they should have lost, but they were still in it enough that they could put someone that they could count on out there to kick a 66-yarder, and he was able to pull that out for them. And so, the last couple of seasons, he hasn't had a lot of pressure kicks like he's had in other years, but they've got to fix that. They got to fix it real quick. And but I agree with you. Next year, you have some competition. You bring some people in because, it's time. As a matter of fact, anytime that the New York Times, the paper of record, does an article on you talking about the fall of a legend and Justin Tucker, it's going bad. I was looking at the Times today. I was like, hold up, the fall of a legend, a kicking legend. It's like, oh Lord, they didn't wrote an article about Justin Tucker in the New York Times about him missing these kicks. And so
I'm obviously I'm not a kicker. I don't know the intricacies of kicking field goals, but I don't like the fact that he missed both field goals the same exact way. It looked like there was it makes it look
he's
like
pulling to the left
adjustment.
As a matter of fact, they say all of the field goals are pulled to the left that he's missed. The 6 that he's missed this year have been pulled to the left.
Maybe he got the sugar in one of his feet and it's bigger than the other. So it's
I don't know what it is, but man, fix that. I thought the people at church was going to go crazy Sunday. We had the football family fusion. We had a big screen in the church and had the game up. They did some tailgate. They cooked outside, and we had all this great food. And, it was nice. We had this area of our building that was set up like a lounge, so people could relax and watch the game. I thought the Saints was going to lose their mind when Tuck was missing these kicks, boy. I thought I heard somebody cuss. I didn't know if it was. I don't think it was the pastor, but maybe it was the chairman of the deacon board. Maybe it was my chairman. I don't know, but I heard somebody like God in the back. So anytime you got the Saints, get ready to fight and cuss over field goals.
It's bad when you hear somebody say, "Forgive me, God, for what I'm about
to
say."
So come on, Tuck, you gotta get that together. Now, the offense, it's something about Pittsburgh and Lamar, the offense. But let me ask you this. Are they not using Henry enough? And where is Keaton Mitchell in the rotation? It was this big thing about getting Keaton Mitchell back, getting him into the game. I think I might have seen him 3 or 4 snaps max. It seems like when we get behind, we get away from Henry. And I'm not talking like deep behind, like like the Bengals game a couple weeks ago. I mean, we was only behind by like 3 points. I don't think we were ever behind by multiple points. We were always behind like
No.
3. And it was like you would have thought we were behind by 30. And they got away from, and it's crazy because Henry has the most carries in the league. So he's getting the ball, but it seems like prime situation where you think it should go to him, they don't. And so what's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's so, and we talked about it last year, especially in the AFC Championship game. It's like the Ravens are down 1 score, but they're panicking like you just go away from you eat the clock. You're down 2 points. You eat the clock up. You run the guy, and you score. Like I don't understand what the issue is. But what baffles me even more. So you got an offensive coordinator, but you also have a head coach with headgear on. Doesn't he hear these plays? Like, at what point is John going to say?
When is he stepping to say, no, don't run that?
Exactly. We're not doing. I
don't like the personnel. Let's get a timeout. Yeah, y'all figure something else. Get the right personnel on the field.
You know who does that? Mike Tomlin does that.
He does.
Do you know who takes control? You know who takes control of his team? Mike Tomlin takes control of his team. I don't understand what it is about John that he just doesn't. I don't know. Man.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. As a matter of fact, although Tomlin does that, like I told you last year, I was up in Pennsylvania for the holidays, and people in Pennsylvania don't like Mike Tomlin. They hate him. They don't think he's a good coach.
We should have traded on the field right then. Tomlin should have came with the Ravens, and John should have stayed with the Steelers. I'm gonna tell you this. And I saw someone say it, and I've always thought about it. I just hated to ever say.
We're gonna talk about the future of Harbaugh, because that's my next question. So go right in.
No. This is if Lamar Jackson were on the Pittsburgh Steelers, they would be the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe that they would have three or four rings at this point, or at least been in the game 3 or 4 times at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you. No dissent here. I agree. Amen. Yay and amen. As a matter of fact, that leads me into: have we gone as far as we can go with Harbaugh? Now, last week I joked with you that John Harbaugh is the guy that won that fight after school when y'all were 10 years old, and now y'all 50, and he's still living off of that one win. He ain't been in a fight since, but people still talking about that time he beat up Lamont when y'all were 10 years old outside on the playground at Edgewood Elementary. He ain't been in a fight since.
He is, and I will say it again. Mm-hmm. He is a Hall of Fame coach. I know you don't like to hear it, but he is a Hall of Fame coach. But also, let me present this to you. Let me present this to you. I believe Mike Tomlin is 1 year the football senior of John Harbaugh. I believe Tomlin has
because Tomlin kind of ushered in this CEO coach type of thing where you're not necessarily a specialist in one thing, although he coached defensive backs before he came to Pittsburgh, but you build your staff. And so you have this solid foundation of organization. You build good staff, and you kind of CEO the team. So go ahead.
So, well, with that being said, if we're saying that, have we come to the has Harbaugh taken as far as he can? Has Tomlin taken the Steelers as far as he can? Because that's the gripe Pittsburgh has. He's only got one ring.
They win, but they don't get to. So yeah, he beat up Lamont too.
He doesn't even get as far as John does in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, the Ravens can't beat him. Made it to but he can't beat the play. Yeah, he's only won one.
Yeah, but he's only won one. He's only won one. And the last one that he went to was a long time ago.
Yeah, so I mean,
Aaron Rodgers was good then. We didn't even know he was on ayahuasca. And so Yeah.
So I don't know if we
Mhm.
who would we get that would be better? That's
That's
always the question.
that's the thing that I posed on Blue Sky. As a matter of fact, everyone, if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, I am on Blue Sky. You can just look up my name. I'm on Blue Sky and all. They're posting as well, trying to get away from Twitter. We're all trying to leave Elon Musk his Twitter. But anyway, that's the question I posed on my Blue Sky post. I don't know who you get. Like, who's out there? Belichick,
Vrabel,
Vrabel,
do you get a coordinator like
the guy from Detroit. I mean, eh,
the guy from
that's
the
an attract.
Texans?
Now it's an attractive job because you got a guy that could probably possibly be a 3-time MVP. Now we do gotta give Harbaugh some credit because he made Jackson his quarterback, and they've been on a roll since then. But they have not sniffed the Super Bowl. They struggle. They make these crazy in-game decisions that cost them games. May it be in the regular season, may it be in the playoffs, and there's just a thought that we wasted Lamar's best years because we just can't get it together in his coaching. To me, penalties is coaching. Making the decision about the 2-point play is coaching, and it just happens time and time again every season. And I don't know. I don't know, Calvin. I mean, I say the only way he loses his job is if they miss the playoffs, and they're not going to miss the playoffs. They're too good. Lamar Jackson plays for that team, and so there's unless Lamar, I'm not even going to say an injury because if it happens, then I'm gonna get blamed. Unless something totally drastic happens to the team, they have a big rash of injuries. They're going to make the playoffs. Now, are they going to be one and done? It's a possibility. It's a strong possibility because defensively, although they play well defensively, we're going to close with that. There's a strong possibility that they could.
So
And
you don't
so,
think you don't think that if the Ravens don't make it to at least the AFC Championship game that Harbaugh's job is safe?
I think if he makes the playoff, his job is safe.
Really?
I do because that's all he's done the last couple years. He's made the playoffs about
Yeah.
4 of the last 5 years. Probably the one year they didn't make it, that was one of Lamar's injury years. But then Lamar got injured another year. They made it that year, and they've made it. Just Lamar's been a starter for 5 years. They've made the playoffs 4 of those years.
I think if he
Excuse me.
does not make the championship game, I think there may be a conversation
Hmm.
that needs to be had if he remains the coach because you're right. We have one of the we have a generational player. There's
Yeah,
no two ways about it. He's a Hall of Famer already
yeah.
without having the rings. And you can't keep wasting that. Derrick Henry, you signed him for 2 years. You can't waste that. You're starting to see a defense that's starting to crumble.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
don't know if he
This team
makes it
is. Hmm.
if they don't make at least the championship
Yeah,
game.
this team is built to win a championship, and they're underachieving in some aspects. Although they've played good at some
They
points this
played well.
year,
Yeah, they
they
played well.
played. I'm not ready to throw him out, but if they stumble, maybe there's a conversation. If they miss the playoffs, he's definitely got to go. He's definitely got to go. All right. Defense. Any thoughts about the defense? Have we seen the end of Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson in terms of playing on the field?
We've never seen the beginning of Eddie Jackson, and I think the Marcus Williams project is definitely over. Did he see any snaps in the
No, I don't
Pittsburgh
think he
game?
saw any snaps in the Pittsburgh game. I
Because
think
I know he didn't start or anything,
Ardarius,
but
is it Washington? Yeah, Ardarius Washington played most of the game.
yeah, the defense, they didn't give up any touchdowns. That's all you can
Yeah.
ask. They held strong. Now They weren't playing a powerhouse offense, but they still held strong. Like a win
Yeah.
is a win is a win is a win,
A
even though
win
the
is one.
team didn't win.
Right.
The defense won. The defense
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
well.
They bend, but they didn't break.
Yeah.
They did what they needed to do, and that's why you needed your kicker to come through for you
Mm-hmm.
in games like that. All right, the 2-point play. Why? Why do you run a play away from the strong hand of okay. Well, one, you how come you don't have Derrick Henry on the field?
Just on
Now,
the field. You ain't got to give him the ball. Just put him on the field.
because it looked like the 2-point play they
Uh,
ran looked like similar to the one they ran against the Bengals. They had Henry on the field. They went to the left, and Lamar scored on that. So why I don't
that cute shit. They
yeah.
always outthinking
I'm telling
themselves.
these coaches, they outthink themselves. Instead of just keeping it basic, keeping it simple, stupid, instead of the KISS method, these
The
coaches always want to be cute in the wrong situations.
the first touchdown that they scored, with the first touchdown of the game, they were inside the 5-yard line, and I thought they were going to get cute. What did they do?
Mount
Hand the
up and
ball
ran.
off to Henry, and he ran straight up the gut. What is wrong with doing that on the 2-point conversion? But if you want to get cute, you make it a play action.
Right.
Like
With Henry in the game. With Henry in the game. With
on
your
2
best
points
short
you
yardage.
had to have.
Yeah.
You had to have it. You didn't get
Calvin,
4 downs. You
that's what I'm
had to
talking about.
have it.
That's what we're talking about with the coaching awareness.
Oh,
With your best short field runner, with your best goal line runner on the sideline, you ran that play with that personnel. You ran that play with that personnel. I would have had more respect for them if they had Henry in there and they ran it straight up the gut and they got stopped. I'd have been like, okay,
exactly.
They gave it to their best player.
Exactly.
They tried to mount up. They didn't get it.
Exactly.
But you ran that BS. Go down with your best player.
And then you ran it away from your receivers. Like when Lamar saw he couldn't get in the end zone, no way he could throw the ball. Plus you committed, you cut half the field off. I hate those plays where they cut half, because what is Lamar special at? Getting out of precarious situations.
Right.
But you put him in a situation that he
him in
couldn't
the middle
get out
field
of.
And let him juke and you're running him to the short side of the field. It was just a horrible call. And it's that coaching awareness. And it starts at the top, man. It starts at the top.
However, I will say, and I mentioned this in our group chat, Rita did say in an article she wrote the other day, we don't know if Lamar is audibling out some of these plays, is calling out of some of these plays.
Sure.
He does have the game. Now, granted, that doesn't take from the fact that Derrick Henry is not on the field. But we don't know if some of those plays that, Lamar's getting up to the line and calling out of the play. So maybe we can't put it all on Monken, but
if he audibled out that play, we would know it by now. Trust me. If he audible out that play, they would have sold that boy out by now. They would have been put it out in the press. Adam Schefter or somebody would have been saying Lamar audible out of that play.
John would have been like, wait, wasn't me.
Well, we give Lamar the leeway. Yeah, come on. Yeah, no, he didn't audible out of that. Because if he did, they already would have sold him out. They would have leaked that thing faster than a leaky faucet.
It just looked like they didn't even try to score the 2 points.
Yeah, it was like
kick the extra point. If that's what you're going to give us,
if that's what you're going to do, just kick the extra point and go ahead and try a onside kick. Okay. God, so frustrating. All right, man. Let's run through our B.I.G show power rankings real quick, 1 through 5. And so I'll start off real quick. I'll give my 1 through 5, starting with 5. Number 5, Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, T.J. Watt, What more can you say? I mean, these guys, I don't want to even call they winning with smoke and mirrors. They winning with great defense. We got to give PQ his credit. Good game by Patrick Queen. Big strip of Likely. Yeah, they're just hitting on all cylinders. They're doing enough offense to win them games. You know, you're not asking Russ to go out there and throw for 300 yards. He's doing enough. Number 4, the Chiefs. They're still up there, 9-1. They played the Panthers this weekend. They're going to put it on them, and so Chiefs are still up there. Number 3, Minnesota Vikings. Just quietly, although they lost a couple games, they lost to the Lions earlier this season, and I forget the other loss. They've been winning consistently. The defense is playing crazy. Maybe that might get the defensive coach a consideration. Although, you know, we'll see if he's blackballed come hiring time because his defense has been in the top 5 all season. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, big win. One of their losses is from the Ravens. It's hard to believe that the Ravens ran through them over a month or so ago, and they haven't lost since. And so they've just been putting it together. They played well on Sunday. Second highest team in my ranking. And number 1, Detroit, baby. What up, though? The Lions. The Lions is just running through people right now. The defense is nice. The offense is crazy nice. The running backs, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they're beating teams the way they're supposed to be. They're putting these teams out of their misery early. The Jags, they ain't playing around with the Jags. That's how you're supposed to beat the Jags. And they ain't supposed to be close. They're doing it. And so, yeah, the Lions. What's your Power 5?
I have everything that you have with one exception.
Mm-hmm.
I move Pittsburgh up to 4. I throw the Vikings off the list, and I bring my Baltimore Ravens in at number 5.
You still got y'all. He a homer, y'all. Let go. The Ravens is not no top 5 team.
Do you think the Minnesota Vikings can beat the Baltimore Ravens?
Yes. Okay. They got Justin Jefferson. You forget what they got on offense.
Yeah, but they have Sam Darnold.
It don't make a difference. All you got to do is throw it in the air and hope Brandon Stevens is covering Justin Jefferson. Because if he is, it's a touchdown.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm not saying they could go blow for blow, but I think that yes, they can. They have the weapons enough that. Come on, yo. We lost to the Browns. Jameis Winston.
We lost to the Raiders.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of that quarterback. What's his face?
Minshew.
Minshew. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
Sam Darnold will have a chance against our secondary.
I'm bringing the Ravens in at 5, and I'm taking the Minnesota. I don't think the Minnesota Vikings can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you had them above the Steelers. You think they could beat the Steelers?
Yeah, because to me, Russ Wilson is the Achilles heel right there. That little pixie dust that's on them right now. When you get into the playoffs and you facing a better quality defensive teams, you know, it's a little bit more even. Then I don't know if Russ can win them a game. If you're playing against a KC or you're playing against the Bills, the teams that can score offensively, is going to come down to scoring, and I don't know if they can score like that.
I don't know. Russ is a 2-time Super Bowl, should be a 2-time Super Bowl winner. Only a 1-time.
You know how long ago that was?
Yeah,
the 10-year-old still living off that one fight. Still living off that one fight. All right, man. Let's run through these picks because Calvin trying to catch up with Big Bro, and he too behind now, yo. He won last week. He won the picks last week.
I needed that third game. He
got it.
Catch all the way up. I needed that third game.
He right there. So right now I'm leading 110 to 108. So it's almost a virtual tie. We're right there together. And so he trying to catch up with Big Bro. And let's go ahead and run through these picks. Tonight's game in a couple minutes. The Steelers, they're in Cleveland to face the Browns. Who you got?
Give me the Steelers. I don't want them to win, but I'm going to pick them to win.
Yeah. I got the Steelers as well. Vikings, they're in Chicago to play the Browns. I got the Vikings.
I knew you had the Vikings. You think they
Of course I did.
the cream of the crop.
They
I'm
are.
gonna take the Vikings also.
Look at you. Yeah. Now, when I was a young kid, the Vikings was my NFC team. I love Fran Tarkenton, Chuck Foreman, Ahmad Rashad was on that team. The Purple People Eaters. They had a real good team back in the 70s. All right, the Lions, we just talked about them. My number one team. They're in Indianapolis facing the Colts. I got the Lions.
Yeah, it's going to be another 40, 50 points scoring session for the Lions. I'm taking Detroit.
Okay. Patriots, they're down in Miami to take on the Dolphins.
Give me the Dolphins.
Dolphins, I'm taking the Dolphins as well. The Bucks, they are in East Rutherford to take on the Giants. Giants, they are not. Danny Dimes is on the bench and he's probably not with the team next year. The GM, I don't know if he makes it too because they decided not to bring back Saquon and they wanted to build around Danny Dimes and it's been a failure. And so, who are you taking?
Give me Baker Mayfield and the Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks as well. The Cowboys, they're in D.C. playing the Moes, the Commanders. I got the Commanders.
I got the Commanders.
All right. The Chiefs, like I said, they're down in North Carolina eating that chopped barbecue, and they're going to be playing the Panthers as well.
Come on. Give me the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs as well. Titans, they're in Houston to play the Texans. Texans, they blew out Dallas on Monday night, but Dallas is just not good. It's not like the Texans have been excellent, but they finally gave the ball to Mixon and he had 3 touchdowns. And so I'm taking the Texans.
I really want the Titans to win, but I'm going to take the Texans also.
All right. The Broncos, they are in Vegas to play the Raiders. I'm taking the Bronx.
Taking the Broncos.
All right. The Niners. Ooh. They might not make the playoffs this year. They are in Green Bay to play the Packers.
Back is against the wall for the 49ers. They're going into Green Bay. Mm-hmm. One of those old school NFC championship type games.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to take the Niners.
All right. I'm going to take the Pack. So that's our first split. The Cardinals, they're in Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Seahawks, a big win last week over the Niners. Little man is back. The Cardinals been playing well. They're coming off a bye. Who you got?
This is the probably game for first place. I'm taking Little Man in the Cards.
Taking Little Man as well. Eagles, they are in, as a matter of fact, it's so crazy because the Eagles are here in Baltimore next week. They'll be in L.A. to take on the Rams on Sunday, and then the Ravens are taking on the Chargers on Monday in the same stadium. And so Eagles in L.A. to take on the Rams. Who you got?
I'm taking the Eagles.
All right, I'm going to take the Rams on this one. All right, and of course, we both got the home team. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams. I'm going out on a limb. Taking the Rams. I don't know about their defense. I mean, that boy's been throwing it over the yard. Puka's back. You got the what's the other wide receiver? Cooper Kupp.
AJ. Oh, you're talking about yeah.
Yeah, you got Cooper Kupp. I ain't talking about the Eagles. And so I think the Rams maybe they can put up some points.
You seen the Eagles play lately? They look like the Eagles of old with Saquon.
I don't know, man. No, they're going to the West Coast. It's going to be a little different.
It's the opposite way. West coming east is the killer.
Okay,
not east going west.
Hey, who's winning this year? Who's in the lead right now?
Touche, my nigga.
Yeah, so I know we're both taking the Ravens over the Chargers in the Harbaugh 3. This will be the third time that the two brothers have met, once in the Super Bowl, once during the regular season when Jim was with the Niners. And so, a lot of people saying this is a must win. Do you agree?
For the Ravens, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Okay. All right.
I
All
mean,
right.
as close to a must win as you can get, but yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a
Yeah.
must win.
All right. So we're both taking the Steelers tonight. We're both taking the Vikings over the Bears, Lions over the Colts, Dolphins over the Patriots, Bucks over the Giants, Commanders over the Cowboys, Chiefs over Panthers, Texans over Titans, Broncos over Raiders. We split on Pack Niners. You're taking Niners. I'm taking the Pack. We both take Cardinals over Seahawks. We split on Eagles Rams. You're taking the Eagles. I'm taking the Rams. And of course, we got the home team over the Chargers. All right. So we'll see what happens next week. I'm sure Calvin's going to say I messed up somewhere. All right. You may have heard the news that inside the NBA, they're going to be moving over to ESPN starting next year. They're going to be doing just the high profile games on ESPN and ABC. They could be doing the pregame, halftime, and postgame coverage of the finals, conference finals, NBA playoffs, and all ABC games after January 1st. They also do Christmas Day opening week and final week of the season. You think that's great? We're getting the inside NBA crew over to ESPN and ABC.
All I want to know is where's me and Garland shit? Why
Right.
can't we be on ESPN? We can run back to the board and fall down and shit, make crude jokes and shit. Where's our shit at? I mean, good for them, but what about our shit? We can get on there. Shit.
In the words, of Malcolm X, too black, too strong. Got a quick music corner for y'all. Now, the year is 1976, and Marvin Gaye, he's going through a personal crisis. It's the summer of 76, and the year before that, or a couple months before that, his wife, Anna Gordy, she decided to sue him for divorce, claiming irreconcilable differences, and she was seeking child support for their adopted son. Several years before that, Marvin, he had started an affair with a 17-year-old girl that he met at his studio named Janice Hunter. As a matter of fact, it was said that she was the inspiration for Let's Get It On. And so Marvin, he's in this other relationship. He was with Anna Gordy, who's the one of the older sisters of Berry Gordy, who was the founder of Motown Records. They had been in this long relationship. As a matter of fact, Anna Gordy is like 17 years older than Marvin Gaye, and they got married when Marvin was in his 20s and all those things. And so um, Marvin, he decides, he's going to fight this, but after several delays in their court proceedings, probably around 1977, his lawyer comes to him with a great idea. He says, "Look, Marvin, let's settle this way. I'll get Anna to agree if you give her half the royalties to your next Motown album." And so he said, "Okay, cool. I'll give her half the royalties that I make off my next album, and that'll settle the divorce." And so they offered that to Anna. She accepted. And he went on the next year to say, "Okay, it's time to make the record." And at first he said, "I'm just going to make a crap record. I don't care. She's going to get half the money. I'm not going to do all this work." But as he started making the record, Calvin, he's like, "Wow, I can't give my fans a bad record. I owe them more, and this is feeling, very therapeutic for me to do this." And so he decided to make an album based on their marriage and relationship with Anna. And he named that album "Hear My Dear." Now, "Hear My Dear" is Marvin Gaye's 15th studio album, and it was released as a double album in December of 1978. And so the album focuses on him and Anna Gordy's relationship and the divorce. It's a very crazy album. As a matter of fact, let me read to you some of the song titles. "Hear My Dear." And he named it "Hear My Dear" because it was like, here, I'm giving you this. This is what you wanted. So here, my dear. And so he had song titles. "When Did You Stop Loving Me? When Did I Start Loving You? Is That Enough? Um, You Can Leave, but It's Going to Cost You. Falling in Love Again. Um, Is That Enough? Anger. And so he really, took these songs and he made these songs like really going deep into their relationship. He even take a little swipe at Barry Gordy in one of the songs as well. Now, when this album came out, it didn't chart well. Not a lot of people liked it. Some critics liked it. But then maybe in the last 20 years, you has a couple reissues of this album. And you found a whole new audience of people like, yo, this is kind of groundbreaking that he's taken his marriage and his relationship and he laid it out for the public to see. And so it's not an album in Marvin's canon that a lot of people have listened to, but I want to challenge people: go listen to it. Hear My Dear. It's one of my favorite Marvin albums. It's a great album. It's a great listen. Take a listen to it. Hear My Dear, his 15th studio album.
Hey, so I just want to say, you all get on Diddy real bad about the shit that he's done, but Marvin Gaye, Richard Pryor, Paul Mooney, Marlon Brando, they were the original freak off niggas back in the 70s. Listen.
Yeah. If you want to know more about Marvin Gaye, his biographer, David Ritz, has probably written the definitive book about Marvin Gaye. Marvin, his dad was a cross-dresser. We would call him transgender. His dad was a cross-dresser, and his dad hated him. He was named after his father. If you know, his father murdered him. Mm-hmm. And his father hated him. And like I said, he was married to Anna Gordy. She was 17 years older than him. And then Nona Hendrix, Nona Gaye, that we know from the movies, from the oh my God, what's the name of that movie? Will Smith movie.
She was in Ali.
Yeah, she was in Ali, and I'm thinking about the one with Neo. Oh my God. Anyway, so it was the one with Keanu Reeves. He played Neo. They were in the Matrix. Yeah, she was in the Matrix as well. And so her mother. He met her mother when she was 16, 17 years old. He was kind of like the original R. Kelly. And so had an affair with this 17-year-old girl and left his wife for her. And then, he goes through this divorce and he makes this kind of crazy but very dope album, Hear My Dear.
All right, Marv.
All right, man. Yeah. So check it out. Come on, yo. You got to come on, yo, for us this evening?
I do. So it's getting to be the holiday season or whatever, and the wife, she gets a little spirited, and she starts watching little commercials, and she sees Wicked, and she all throw the hint out. Oh, I'd want to go see that. Now I'm looking, that motherfucker like 2.5 hours long, and it's a musical. That's not my thing. It's not on my bingo card. But she's the wife. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the tickets. So I get I'm gonna go early so I can get the matinee price. I can get in and get out of that mug. You know what I mean? I don't even want to be there all day. I'm already be there too long.
Right.
And then they like, hey, now with the tickets, so now the movies you pick your seats and all that shit. You know what I mean? I'm getting a good movie theater, got the space in between the seats, the recliners got it. And now they like, you can get your concessions before you even get to the theater. You can order them now and it can be waiting for you. Wow. And I'm like, all right, cool. So you know how they had a little deal. You get all I want is soda and the popcorn. If you get the sodas and the popcorn separate, it's going to cost you more. But if you get the sodas and the popcorn together, you can save $2. Now, granted, it's only $2, but I'm gonna save it if I can save it. You know what I mean? I can hand the landlord his little $2, and I'll be good for the month. You know what I mean? I'll be good for the month. Right. So I go to save the $2, and I'm about to check out. And then I see a motherfucking service fee for $2.15. Come on, yo. Ooh. How am I saving $2 if you charging me a service fee? I'm going to the motherfucker anyway. I might as well just stand in the line. Come on, yo. Come on, movies. I keep my little $2 in my pocket. My little rent money and shit. And y'all trying to charge. You're not saving me nothing. See, that's how they be trying to get you, yo. Stay woke. Stay woke, y'all. They be trying to get you. Then you know what's going to happen. After you pay the service fee, when you go to check out fully, then it's going to ask you for an additional tip. Come on, yo. This shit is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
They charge you a service fee, then ask for a tip.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll be giving 50%. You'll be paying shit. I might as well have ordered another lobster and shit. The fuck? Come on, yo. This shit is getting out of hand, America. That's, you know what? I'm gonna move to one of them jungles and shit where I ain't gotta worry about none of that shit. I can watch Timon and Pumbaa and the rest of the fucking Lion King and the Jungle Book and watch them perform Hakuna Matata and shit. Come on, yo.
It's a service fee.
Movies.
It's a service fee there too. Yeah, you're right though. I mean, yeah, man, these things is getting expensive. Yeah, you gotta pay for that. You thought, oh wow, these recliners is nice, and they got my food waiting. It's nice. Okay. You remember we used to sneak? I used to sneak food into the Hippodrome. Now, come on now.
Used to. Yeah, I took when Us came out, took the whole family to see Us at Security Boulevard. The whole family, me, the kids. This was before the landlord was born. Me, the kids, and my mother. We sitting in the thing, you know, thinking about getting some popcorn. Why my mother pull out a tray of sandwiches? She had made like 3 sandwiches for everybody. So we sitting in a row just passing sandwiches down the shit.
Bro.
Then had the nerve to be like, and I got chips too, and a bag of chips.
Bro, my mother used to empty out the purse, bruh. We going to movies? Let me empty out this purse. Bringing everything in that daggone movie. Find nothing up in here. Went right to 7-Eleven before we got there. Go and get you some candy. Get your little soda. Yeah, man. Shoot. You ain't gotta say nothing to me, bro. You ain't gotta say nothing to me. I was raised that way. My mother, she's gone on to be with the Lord. I miss you, Mom. My mother used to take food home from the smorgasbord, from the Horn and Horn, from the all you can eat. Yeah, my mom, empty purse again. She would have some plastic bags. She would have the cups, like the cups that you would get in there. She would put food into the cups, Calvin. And so when I brought Paula home, we were dating, and I was like, "You thirsty? You want something to drink?" So I went in the cabinet to get a cup. She was like, "Hold up, aren't those the cups from Horn and Horn?" I said, "Yeah, my mother, she be taking the food out of Horn and Horn, and she be putting it in the cups." Yeah,
bro. So when me and Katina first started dating, there was this Mother's Day. They do this Mother's Day brunch every year, like Martin's West or something like that.
Yeah.
So we went and brought Katina's parents with us, and my mother, my aunts, my uncles, they always bring in the big freezer bags, and they be putting the damn pit beef in it. And
oh yeah, bro.
So I'm all like, "How you embarrassing me?" Right. And I'm courting this girl, and her parents are here.
Right.
Tell me why. Katina parents, they pulled theirs out too. It was like, "Oh, we didn't know y'all did it. We was gonna steal our own food." It was a whole crime operation. Yeah, and me and my cousins and Katina, we all just got up. And you know what they said? All the parents was like, "Yeah, y'all gonna eat this shit. Y'all gonna eat this shit, ain't you?" And I was like, yeah.
My mother would be like, "Yeah, you know, your father, I ain't fixing up when I get home, so this is gonna be his dinner." Don't go to a crab feast, boy. Oh my God, the first right in the purse. Yeah. My kids would be so embarrassed. I'd be like, "Y'all gonna eat that ham later? Y'all better just."
And I'm not gonna lie, over the years I would open the refrigerator and it would be big freezer bags of beef and ham and just just all that shit. And don't let them have like crab cakes and shit like that. Oh my god.
Yeah, once they got the freezer bags, you couldn't stop my mother. But like I said, them cups. This is my dessert cup. This is my cup of meats. Like, ma'am. Had a whole set. Paul was like, isn't that from Horning? I was like, yeah, baby. Anyway. Hey man, that's all we got tonight. I don't have a come on yo today.
Hey man, it was a good show. We gotta go watch the Browns beat up on the Steelers.
Yes, hopefully. It's that time.
We need this. We need this win. AFC North. You never know what's going to happen.
Belt the butt. Belt the butt. Belt the butt.
Let me hit this outro on here. So this outro here.
Belt the butt. Belt the butt.
Man, I could not
You have been listening to
Katina parents had they shit too, and then they had smaller freezer bags. So my mother and my aunts, they were handing them the bigger ones. I was just like,
follow us on all of your
fucking like a whole mob scene in this motherfucker, yo. I thought we was gonna get arrested.
My mother would be like, sit to the back. We want a table in the back.
All right, man. I'll holler at you, guys.
Peace, bro. Later.